Hello, my little ponies. This is Nightlife again, and after a short break, I listened to a few remixes of Singing Telegram. Picky pie. I am back giving you chapter 15 of Vinyl and Octavia University Days by Dawn Fade. Mad props to that brawny bro, or Pegasister, I guess. And oof, I've made a mistake. I've been doing these readings illegitimately, meaning without permission. But, I have just, quite literally, just asked Dawn Fade for permission during my break. And, like a complete bastard, I'm going to upload these things anyway. But I really, really do wish that Dawn Fade gives me permission. not to. And if Dawn Fade does decide to stop, that they don't want me to read these, I will not. Here's hoping that doesn't happen. Do I still smoke? God damn it, Dad. Anyway, this is chapter 15 of Vinyl and Octavia University Days. Chapter 15. Vinyl's first no-study allowed week had passed far too quickly. The old adage, "Time flies when you're having fun," came to mind, and it certainly rang true in this instance. The last week had been the most fun she'd had in her entire life. Patrick Bow Wow. Red versus blue. And it was all because of Vinyl. They had just finished yet another experiment, and Vinyl was now on her computer tapping buttons with a feverish speed. That didn't surprise her. The DJ always became rather inspired after kissing. For her part, Octavia still lay on their makeshift double bed, watching the glass of water on the table beside it quiver from the base. And as earth-shaking as it was, she had actually grown to enjoy this particular type of music. Vinyl had been experimenting with many different kinds of classical instruments in addition to her usual array of synthetic sounds. Ooh! Classical instruments mixed in electronica music. My favorite! But I can't really find much. If anybody out there knows any burning musician that does this frequently, or is that kind of music that they do, please point me in their direction so I may tackle hug them like Pinkie Pie and squeeze the life of them. I'll hug them and squeeze them and call him George. Val have been experimenting with many different kinds of classical instruments in addition to her usual array of synthetic sounds. Ever since that first song on that fateful day, the tracks had gotten better and better, to the extent that the unicorn couldn't wait for her next gig just so she could show them off. This is gonna change the world, Philly. Vinyl had said a few days ago, as one of her songs drew to a close. Just you watch. We're not just rewriting the rulebook. We're burning it and snorting the ashes. I'm pretty sure that's not healthy. I'm kind of certain with the fire that's gonna be like snorting a line of fire ants. Only the legendary Ozzy Osbourne has done that and lived. Man, that guy's done all kinds of drugs, and he's like, what, 90? And damn. He's like... He's undying. Holy crap. When he dies, I'm going to slap myself in the face so hard it turns around 5 times like Aloysius. As distasteful as that sounded, Octavia couldn't deny that her latest creations were nothing like the current trends in the musical world. She entertained secret fantasies of herself and Vino leading a uh, euphonious revolution with their combined talent. Though she wasn't quite sure on how to go about such things. Besides, she didn't even have a degree yet. What do you mean, didn't even? Ugh. Adjusting headset for maximum pornies. And that thought brought her back to the problem at Hoof. Exams loomed in the distance, drawing closer with each day. Her no-say tactic was starting to make her nervous. Do you think Psych will mind if I do just a little bit of studying? She said loudly over the music. The track cut off abruptly with a comical record scratch. And the eponymous perpetrator spun in her computer chair. Nuh-uh, don't even think about it. She tried to maintain a stern gaze, but the seat kept slowly rotating, making her look over the whole room before rounding on Octavia again. If he said no studying, then no studying. Don't make me lock your books up. Oh my gosh. But exams run 1 week. Sulked the cellist, knowing she wouldn't be able to change her roommate's mind. Vinyl snorted, possibly ashes of burnt books. You'd probably ace them even if you went without a single lecture. I'm glad everyone is so confident in my abilities, but forgive me if I don't share your certainty. Octavia rolled over and stuffed her face into a pillow with a huff. That's not all she stuffed her face into. Food! Not fish. That reminds me. I'm sorry, I'm going to pause it right here for one moment for a little story time. You see, I used to go to a sushi restaurant, and it was just quite literally populated with lesbians. And I would know because it's stereotypical, but every table had a pair of two women who looked a little too close, if you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure I saw one give the other a handy in the back table. But day after day, I couldn't figure out why all these lesbians were going there to eat raw fish. And as I said that aloud, it came to me. Why are always lesbians here? Just to eat raw fish? Oh, okay. Much like Too Good a Fan. Back to the story. Unable to resist, the unicorn helped herself to an eyeful of classy gray backside. Oh, I swear, I didn't plan that. You're cute when you sulk. The triple clef mark curled. I thought the mark curled over. What the fuck? She like rampage? Holy shit. The triple clef marked mayor curled up, unintentionally aiding the voyeuristic agenda of the DJ. I'm not sulking, said her muffled voice. I'm sorry, but I just shaved my beard and my chin is so cold. That's a weird place to be cold at, but it's just freezing. My chin is freezing. Yeah, you are, and it's adorable. Octavia. Whoa. I just had the most amazing idea. I shouldn't be reading these. Oh no, I shouldn't. The fine folks who do the vinyl scratch tapes should be reading these. But it'll need to be converted to radio play. Octavia turned and launched her pillow at the pillow at the roommate, falling short by a meter. I am not adorable. Giggling, Vinyl slid off her chair and walked over to the bed. Screwing up your nose like that isn't really helping your case, you know. Oh, you are impossible, exclaimed the exasperated Earth Pony, who can buck off your balls like apples. She dropped off the side of the bed and marched straight up to her DJ, intending on giving her a piece of her mind. Actually, her treacherous body decided it would be much more entertaining if she threw her hooves around Vinyl's neck and gave her an angry kiss. that sounds like it has biting involved. Me likey. No, too far. There you go. When they broke apart, oh, hate shipping. Or you hate someone, you just gotta screw the brains out of them. With the screwdriver. No, with the lemons. Anytime you do something, do it with lemons. It's a Portal joke. Just do it. When they broke apart, the unicorn was wearing a cocky grin, as if that was exactly the response she had expected. It infuriated Octavia to no end. Why is she so confident all of a sudden? During their first kiss, Vinyl had been just as hesitant as Octavia, perhaps even more so. But now seeing the DJ swagger for a bit of fun was quickly becoming an hourly occurrence. Not that Octavia really minded. It was comforting to know that at least one of them seemed to know what they were doing. Still, the sudden boost in confidence was notable enough to warrant investigation. Ah, my pickles. Okay, that's good. Letting her glare drop into one of those fluttery-eyed looks that her roommate inexplicably seemed to like, Octavia carefully began to dig. You're certainly very amorous today. Any particular reason why? Philly, I'm always amorous when you're around. She paused. What's amorous mean? The cellist chuckled. It's the feeling that makes you want to get close to some pony. Oh. Vinyl's smile grew into a grin. Oh, I getcha. About to take a powwow. Octavia cleared her throat so she wouldn't get distracted. Despite seeing them up close every day, those red eyes were still as hypnotizing as the first time. You've just seemed very, bold lately. Even more so than usual. Shrugging, the DJ brushed a strand of blue hair aside. What can I say? Getting to make out with a high-class pony like you does wonders for my self-esteem. Yeah. Is that a cockroach? Ew, it's all over everywhere. One moment. Ew. Oh, shit. Okay, and I'm back, and I had to take a shower because it got in my hair. I know. Baby. Tough up, baby. I know. Ugh. Ew, it's in my teeth. Be right back. Okay, and I'm back. That was thoroughly disgusting. Ugh. That thing was big as a $50. Where the heck was I? Oh, yes. Wonders my self-esteem. It was becoming difficult to resist getting hypnotized, especially after such sweet words. Vanna was quickly becoming quite adept at finding new ways to make her blush. That was one of the things Octavia loved about her. She always knew the perfect thing to say. That particular trait was one they did not share, she lamented. Every time she wanted to say something romantic or flirty, it always came out wrong or just made Vinyl call her cheesy, regardless of how sincere she was. Sometimes she couldn't help but envy her roommate's raw charisma, especially now that they were getting into the habit of spending entire days together. What about nights? We'll get to that later. Not too later. It wasn't that she didn't feel comfortable around Vinyl. Quite the opposite. She felt so comfortable that she wanted to stay and try new things constantly. But she could never execute them without making a fool of herself. Oh, what I would give to be able to just tell you the things I want. As usual, her mind quickly moved onwards to avoid that particular path. It was too early, and it didn't make sense, and they were too young, she affirmed herself, piling as many excuses as possible on top of the topic in question, so as to hide it from her mind's eye. Nothing escapes the eye of Sauron. Except for one little hobbit that completely fucked his shit up. Vinyl, she said, mind racing to find something to say that would distract her. Have you ever been in a relationship? Blech. Have you ever been in a relationship before? Her heart skipped a beat. Is that the right word for what we have? The DJ looked surprised for a moment. Yeah, I guess it is. She leaned forward and pressed her cheek against Octavia's. We didn't really ask each other out, did we? It just sort of happened. That's the way it's supposed to be, y'all. You don't ask anybody out. It just happens. Oh dear. Oh, that's right. The refined mare closed her eyes, enjoying the warmth against her muzzle. No, I suppose we didn't. Well then, Vinyl took a step back and straightened up. Will you be my filly friend? Octavia's heart immediately began to beat faster. Even though they had been together for a little while now, it was oddly exhilarating to see Vinyl be so serious about making it official. She felt a light, fluttery feeling behind her chest. Settling the phrase, butterflies in her stomach, made a lot more sense. Oh, I just now got that. Equine anatomy. Behind her chest, being her stomach. The unicorn coughed. Octavia? Yes, sorry, yes. She dove forward and engulfed her filly friend in a hug. Sorry again, I got lost in my thoughts. Letting out a relieved sigh, Vinyl held a hoof against her own chest as if in pain. Don't do that to me, filly. She laughed hoarsely. It's cruel. I'm Applejack. More apple fuera? I think the term comes to mind. Sorry, Octavia emphasized each apology with a peck on the other mare's alabaster cheek. Sorry. I'm not gonna make the smoochie sound. I'm just not. A soft, high-pitched noise slipped out of Vinyl's mouth. The cellist froze immediately, lips still pressed against skin. Wasn't that supposed to be fur? Several little things became apparent. Octavia was panting, though she was trying to hide it by breathing through her nose. She was also warm, very warm, the kind of temperature ponies only reached in certain situations. Her heart was beating even quicker than Octavia's. She could feel her roommate's pulse under her lips. Octavia, Val whispered shakily, you really shouldn't kiss there. The cellist slowly moved her head her head back so she could see Violet's face. Those red eyes avoided her, looking somewhat pained. Guilt flooded Octavia's mind, and she took another step backwards, feeling a little undeserving to be so close to the DJ. Do you want to talk about it? She asked. Talking was good. She always resolved problems with talking. I don't know. Do you want to talk about it? Val finally met her eyes, if only for a second. I don't know either. They stood in silence, each wondering what the other was thinking instead of mulling the issue over. Eventually, after telepathy proved impossible, Octavia decided to try and give them both an escape route. It was the least she could do after creating this situation in the first place. We could always talk about it later, she offered. As she had hoped, Violet leapt at the thought. Yeah, I mean, we're not going anywhere. And exams are coming up, and I've got a lot of music to work on. And we really should start preparing our cheat sheets. The internet isn't going to surf itself. My cello needs cleaning, parties to go, jaws to drop, and drops to drop too. Bass, drop the bass. Wub. Oh, claptrap. So we can definitely talk about it later. Final finished. Indeed. Did anyone else get lost during that little exchange? Because I certainly did. Indeed. Indeed. After another moment of staring, they broke into laughter, dispelling any awkwardness that had accumulated. Wow, we're awful at this stuff, chuckled Vinyl. I know, Octavia replied from amidst giggles. Maybe we've been cooped up in here for too long. Want to go out somewhere? The cellist nodded. Absolutely. Some fresh air will do us good. To a tavern! Declared the DJ, rearing in the air dramatically before charging to the door. Freedom! Oh dear. Octavia eyed the blue liquid in the small glass before her. It pulsed softly with magical energy and illuminated some scratches on the hard, dark wood of the bar. Under the right lighting, even the most well-maintained building on campus showed its age. It was only early afternoon, so they were almost alone in the tavern. Vanna was grinning and nodding her head, waiting for her Philly friend to drink. The cellist nodded and nudged the glass away with one hoof, watching the substance swirl around unnaturally. I told you I'm still underage. Unfazed, the DJ pushed her closer again. And I told you it's non-alcoholic. It's a magical cocktail. It's probably worse than alcohol. And yet totally legal as long as you're over 16. Cool, huh? Vinyl looked incredibly pleased with herself. I figured you might need something to take the edge off that studying you're not doing. Off all that studying you're not doing. Ah! Okay. God damn it! Fucking cargo dropped off the ceiling and landed on my fucking face. Oh, God. Oh. I didn't know they could crawl on the ceiling. Oh, God, there's two of them. Ew. Well, at least time I use some paper to stump them with. I didn't get dirty, yay! Octavia slumped on her stool. Oh, Celestia, don't remind me. I'm going to go insane if I keep thinking about that. Yep. Hence, the unicorn pushed the glass even closer. Go on, just a sip. Did you just say hence? Giggled Octavia. Don't change the subject. Oh, my hair is horrible. I look like a freaking Japanese schoolgirl from an anime or something. I only got the... Ugh, it's not good. I got the Beatles look going on. No. Just no. Vinyl, I just don't want to drink anything like this, alright? Can't we have fun without it? The DJ, finally giving up, the DJ left the glass alone and tossed her Philly friend a smirk. I thought we were going to talk about that later. I didn't mean that, the Grey Mare insisted, though she knew Vinyl wouldn't believe her. Course you didn't, she sighed. Sorry, I shouldn't keep trying to make you drink and stuff. It's pretty much the only thing I do with my friends in high school, or I did with my friends in high school. So I guess I just keep defaulting to whatever sorry. So I guess I just keep defaulting to it whenever I get bored. I mean, a bunch of other things come to mind, but I'm just gonna shut up now. Octavia decided to let that pass, simply because she also found her mind coming back to one particular topic. It was frustrating. The harder she tried to avoid thinking about it, the more it invaded her mind. Again, with that one same comic with the, oh yeah. I guess I haven't thought about that yet. There's a comic. A furry-esque comic. Rager's Heart comic. Where this is addressed. If something is biological, you can't just ignore it. You must build a tolerance. Yeah, that's the only wisdom there. That and prairie oysters are actually horse testicles. It was... with a sigh of her own, she decided to confront the issue, or at least set up a future confrontation that was a little bit more specific than later. Venel, I think we should talk about it. The white man waved the hoof dismissively. We will, later. No, we need to choose an actual time and day, otherwise we'll be saying later forever. Venel opened her mouth to make another excuse, but all that came out was an exhausted groan. Yeah, you're right. When should we do it? Bow took a bow wow. Red versus blue. She smacked her hoof into her face. I mean, talk. When should... Yes. Okay, all of you go to YouTube, look up Red versus Blue 1. It's going to be titled, Why Are We Here? You will not be disappointed. There's one particular joke involving the word pedophile. It's funny as hell. Later on, though. Later on. Octavia bit her lip as she thought. Maybe Wednesday? That way we have a few more days before it. And if it goes badly, then we have an additional few days to get ourselves together for the exams. Oh, very nice. Hey, come on. Vanna whispered... Hey, come on. Vanna whispered comfortingly, shifting the stool closer so she could put a hoof around her cellist's neck. It won't go badly. No matter what. I'll stick with you. Or something like that. She winced. I'm not as good at this as you are. Trust me, it won't go badly. Aww, it's so sweet. Kind of makes me sad. But that's personal. Well, unless any of you listening wants to help me out with this, just leave me a comment asking, hey, what's wrong? Val felt like kicking herself. This was one of the times where words meant everything, yet she could never get them to come out right. Her roommate always said sweet little things that rolled off the tongue and made her feel warm inside. Bow Chicka Bow Wow. Red versus blue. But the DJ just couldn't think of anything to say back to them. How could anything she might think of possibly compare to those treasured remarks? And that wasn't even including all the body language tricks she seemed to know. Vinyl could barely stop her jaw from dropping every time Octavia winked or posed in seemingly innocuous manner, and then acted oblivious to the tantalizing nature of her actions. So she did cock tease. Or a beaver tease. Sometimes, late at night when Octavia went to sleep, Vinyl would remember it all and feel more than a little unworthy. That refined gray mare was clearly working through an intricate game of courtship or something, and Vinyl had no idea how to play. Are there dating classes for the high society ponies? Would they let me join one? Not a chance, she concluded, a little bit annoyed at the at the imaginary snobs and their imaginary classes. She'd show them. She'd learn to be a great Philly friend without their help. Screw them. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I gonna do with these? I don't want your damn lemons. Thank you, Octavia replied, smiling as she planted a kiss on the unicorn's cheek. You're probably right. It'll be fine. Maybe more than fine, if you catch my drift, said Vinyl instinctually. Once again, Hoof met face with a resounding smack. Look, just hit me next time I do that. Why? You're doing a fine job of it yourself. You know, that didn't hurt. Odd. The sun slowly dimmed, unnoticed for a time by the two ponies at the bar. The only drinks they ordered were 2 glasses of water, between which was a little cup of blue liquid remained untouched. Though the bartender knew they weren't going to be big customers today, he didn't have the heart to tell them to buy something or get out. Besides, that kind of behavior was for the late night crowd, not 2 mares relaxing on a Saturday evening. They remained undisturbed by staff and owner alike. How kind of them. Only when the bell above the door began to ring every few minutes did they realize that time had once again passed by them. The sun was low in the sky. The students and staff alike were finishing with the day's work. When they found themselves squeezed between 2 burly physical education students at the bar, it was unanimously agreed that the time had come to vacate the premises. Vacate the premises? Mm-hmm. 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 Wow, that waveform looked weird. It's like it's sagging. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. After all, the only reason most bar crowds were tolerable at all was because every pony was drunk off their flanks. Throwing 2 sober mares into the mix was just asking for trouble. The couple pushed through the door and out into the oddly clear-skied weather. The temperature was still miserable, but they were just grateful. Ooh, excuse me. They were just grateful to see the sun again. However, it only took a few minutes for the novelty of Celestia's charge being visible to wear off and be replaced by an intense longing for their new warm clothes, all of which were still back at the apartment. But before they could even take 3 steps down the path leading home, they were halted by the sight of an incoming psychology tutor. Oh gosh. Vinyl prayed that he would somehow not see them and continue past, though she knew it was a futile hope. Oh, hello, you two. Lovely evening, isn't it? Too far. Alright, just get out of your system now and leave me in peace, came the DJ's harsh reply, cutting off Octavia's significantly friendlier one. Psyche's smile didn't falter. Get what out of my system? Tell me how you knew it all along and all that. Final braced herself. Knew what all along? That the young girl was quickly becoming confused, and she cast a look at Octavia, who merely smiled and shrugged. Wow, this has been a great chat, but I'm going to leave you two mortal enemies to yourselves. There's a mug of full alcohol with some kind that has my name on it. A mug full of alcohol of some kind. Oh man, what I would give to have one of my tutors say that. That would have been so epic. Psyche trotted merrily between them, pausing only to whisper in Vanna's ear, "If you ever need to talk about how much you hate Octavia, my office is in the big building next to the maintenance sheds." With that, he practically skipped into the tavern. Boing, 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 boing. I dare say, I have something in my teeth. Crush, kill, destroy, swag. The hell? Crush, kill, destroy, swag. Oh well. The cellist couldn't resist nudging her shell-shocked roommate. I told you he's not that bad. And with that comes the end of this reading. I'm not doing anything more, ever. In fact, I'm going to die in 20 seconds. But not after I read this. An amazing piece of music has been made by Lavender Harmony. It's a sexy drum step track partly inspired by the scene in which Octavia walks in on vinyl, incorporating classical instruments into her music. Random note on perspective. Did you know this story is written from a third-person, omniscient perspective? It allows me to delve into what multiple characters are thinking and feeling while maintaining a broad outlook over the rest of the world. Third-person, omniscient. Or omniscient. Omniscient. Yeah, it's omniscient. For example, the previous chapter saw Octavia's thoughts, the year, my life, eternity, as well as Vinyl's, gray and black boots and beanie. How did I not see that? Pretty neat, huh? I love that. I love that so much I can clap to it! It also allows me to occasionally leave the main characters behind in order to describe an event happening elsewhere. Something that wouldn't be possible if it was from a limited third-person perspective. A good example of this is in Chapter 11. Octavia leaves the student counselor's office, yet the narrator remains with Psyche. Now excuse me while I collapse crying in a pile of assignments. More long other notes due on popular requests. Oh, and have some pre-reader commentary. Link. And that's it! That's it for this chapter! Chapter 15 of Violet and Octavia University Days. Why am I so loud? Why not? I hope I didn't break your ears. I'm so sorry. Nightlife, out.